Today we're here at Cedar Hill State Park in Texas. This is a POTA park with the designator of Kilo 2996, also known as K2996. We're here with the Ellis County Amateur Radio Club to discuss how some of these operators got into amateur radio and a little bit about their equipment. If you enjoy this content, please like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel.
Atmospheric conditions are just up and down, man. And that's going to happen. We didn't do nothing with the antenna. See, it came back up again, see? It would make you think like there's a loose connection or something, but everything's tight. 5-7 Indiana, that's what he said.
Man, barely had him.
Yep.
All right, we're here today with Kilo 9, Mike Whiskey Delta. And I have a few questions for you, sir. Tell me a little bit about why you got interested in amateur radio.
I've always, growing up, been interested in scanners. That's kind of where I got my start. You know, scanners, listening to local law enforcement, public safety. It's kind of something I was always interested into. And I guess at one point I decided I wanted to start talking on the radio. And ham radio seemed like the best way to do that. Where I got into ham radio was in Montana, so back in the day, cell phones outside of city limits weren't all that great, but the mountaintop repeaters there had really good wide area coverage, so it was kind of nice. You go out in the woods, you're hunting, you're doing whatever, you know, that there's usually people listening on the repeaters, you know, back then anyway. They weren't as quiet as they are sometimes today, but you could get out and get help if you needed it. And yeah, and then some of the friendships, you know, as I got into it, I stayed in it because of the friendships and stuff that, you know, you build and cultivate, I guess, as you're doing it.
Certainly. Well, excellent. And tell me a little bit about your journey with ham radio. I hear this is your first POTA activation, so tell me about your experience there.
It's my first POTA activation. I've been licensed for over 20 years. Most of what I've done has just been FM, the FM, the fusion modes, things like that, those types of digital modes, not your HF digital modes, but been a little bit into HF, and I've been wanting to get into HF a lot more. And I do like the idea of the POTA. I think it gives you like a real life, you know, everything fails. You can come out very basic, very portable setup and make contacts all over the place. You know, today we made a contact all the way over in France, which I thought was really cool. So I like that aspect of HF. You can reach out a long ways with very basic stuff, honestly, when you think about it.
Yeah, it's definitely a good experience to test out your off-grid communication skills. So did you enjoyed it, and you're going to be back out here next time we do it? Absolutely,
yeah. It was a lot of fun. The other reason why I came out today is POTA. I wanted to start kind of getting ideas of putting my kit together and what I'm going to want to have and use. So today was getting to see what everybody had here was great. Gives me a lot of ideas, so now I can go back and research and start putting my own kit together.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you taking the time with us today, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Thank you.
All right, Matthew, tell us why someone would be interested in CW, also known as Morse code.
So you have all your gear, you've packed up, you're ready to go, you've got a dispatch from the wife, you've got everything approved. The commander says you can go out there and POTA your brains out, right? So you run out to the park and you set up, and you got a QRP radio. And even though you got your antenna squared away, everything's 1-to-1 and everything's working for you, the bands are great, there's a contest. You forgot to check that there's a contest that weekend. And so it happens to be a very big major contest, or there's something going on, and it's like, now what I do. So, and you're in a park and there's a whole bunch of other people and they've got 100-watt radios. There's a lot of challenge that you're going to have to meet in order to have a successful POTA activation that day. Okay. How do I know this? Experience. I've been there, done that, right?
T-shirt.
So I'm there, and even though I had my bigger radio and I was competing against those other ones, the small little QRP guys, they got ate up. They got drowned in the noise. They just couldn't compete with A lot, and some did get in there, but they worked really hard in order to get what they needed to get. So I'm like, okay, well, if I'm going to get a dispatch and I'm going to, the commander's going to let me leave the house that weekend. There's no honeydews and everybody's happy. And I'm out there. I want to make sure I can at least activate a park, get my 10 contacts, be successful that day, that I did my ham radio duty and I did what I needed to do. So here comes CW. This is where it comes in handy. Now, obviously you can do digital modes or whatever, but the low power mode, digital mode the low power modes that I want to pick, or for me, was CW. So I always wanted to learn it, and so I did it. So now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you how quick and easy it is to do CW as a POTA activator without even calling CQ, right? Without even calling CQ. So the contest is still going. There's 100 people all over the frequencies, and all the bands are in use. But for the CW operator, you can dial in and just pick 10 or 15 CW operators and log them in, and now you've completed your activation. And you didn't even call CQ from your park at all. 037. Here comes 056, and here comes 7. I hear him.
There he is.
Loud and clear, right?
Clear as can be.
Here is a decoder also. So if you're just learning CW and you're just wanting to hear, because a lot of learning CW is about hearing the QSOs, hearing the call signs, hearing the dits and dials for each character. You can tune into them, and you can really and you can learn CW by just listening, right? And so one day when you have enough courage, you can get out there. Once you learn CW, just throw your call sign out there and do a QSO with them. So that's what I'm going to try to do here.
Well, thank you, Matthew, for that great CW example, and thank you to the Ellis County Amateur Radio Club for putting on such a wonderful event.